This truck is a 1972 GMC. It is a factory short bed four-wheel drive truck, and it's been sitting in this very spot for 30 years. And today we're going to see if we can get it running. All right, let's get down to the important stuff here. Let's take a look under this hood. Let's see what we're working with. If I can open it. Come on. There it is. There it is. All right, so it looks like a Chevy small block, probably a 350. Battery's still in it. I imagine that's no good at all. But it looks like everything's here. Radiator's here, carburetor's there. Looks like it's got a distributor back there, the coil, alternator, the belt's on it. It appears to be intact and everything's here. So 99% sure this was driven to right where it sits 30 years ago. Before we go to working on this, we're going to go ahead and pull it outside so we got a little bit more light, a little bit more room to work, and also kind of a safety precaution because I don't want to burn down this barn accidentally.
That was really close. A little farther.
Let's get out past these weeds in front of it anyway.
Right there's probably good.
Okay. Stop!
Good! Stop!
Okay, we successfully drug this thing outside without crashing anything. So the first thing I want to look at is the oil, the antifreeze, and just see where we're at with that. Okay, it's got oil in it. It's clear full. It's black, but can't really smell any fuel in it. So that's a good sign. Seems a little thin, but it's oil. It's there. Stick that back in there. Just double check it. Sometimes the oil can wick up on the stick, especially if it's sat there for that long, but yeah, it's full. It's good. Alright, let's see if we got any coolant in this thing. It looks like it's got coolant. Let me grab a light. Wow, it's got antifreeze in it and it's green. The antifreeze is down, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or so. But it's definitely got some in there. That's a good sign. It'll hold antifreeze. So the next thing I want to do is see if this motor will spin over, see if it's locked up. So I'm going to grab some tools, make sure it's in neutral. I've got a block under the back tire so this thing doesn't roll away, and we'll see if she'll spin over. Also, I'm going to check the brake fluid real quick. When I pulled it out, the pedal didn't quite go to the floor, but it didn't feel right either. So just curious, see what's in here. See what it looks like after 30 years just sitting. Yeah, she's a little lacking a little fluid. When these trucks and or cars sit for a long time, the first thing that goes bad is the fuel, and then the brake fluid usually seems to go bad, your brake system. But anyway, my point is anything that has fluid in it is going to go bad. Your coolant, stuff like that, it'll deteriorate faster. But fuel, that is the number one thing that'll go fast. So what we're going to eventually wind up doing is probably for now bypassing the current fuel system and putting up a makeshift one, see what kind of shape that carburetor's in, see if we can get it running, and then go from there. But first, I got to spin this over. Put it in neutral, see if I got any brakes now.
You got brakes?
It feels exactly the same as it did without fluid. So it's probably going to need a master cylinder. Not surprised. Oh, ground's hard and I'm old. Hello. There's a bunch of spider webs under here. Hello, my friend, hello. Oh, it popped, yeah. Okay, it appears that the motor is spinning over freely. Everything looks super good in it. I can hear it making some compression. I don't know if you can hear that over the camera, but the motor's hissing. That means it's getting compression. And I've done about 2 revolutions now. Everything feels really good. No weird spots, nothing like that. So that's a good sign. Got the motor spinning over. I'm happy with it. There's no weird spots in it. Should be fine. The next thing we need to address is this battery. It's been in here forever, so it's got to go. So I'm hoping that I can just pop the battery in this. And everything will work like I want it to. It should. These, oh dude, those are short. This is going to be a challenge. Yeah.
See you later, Wolf.
All right, so you may have noticed, but this has a side post setup, and I'm pretty sure that's not the correct setup for a 72. I think they started doing that in 73. And it's not my favorite setup. I kind of hate them. They never really have a good connection, but that's just my opinion. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Tell me what you like.
His favorite thing to do in the whole world is carry batteries.
What?
I said your favorite thing to do in the whole world is carry batteries.
Oh, yeah. Not sure. Okay, I'm gonna clean these ends up a little bit, and then I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to get a battery in here. Nothing better than the taste of battery acid in the morning.
Nothing better than the batter.
Nothing better than the batter. Oh yeah, that smells good. Alright, how am I gonna do?
Why do you got like the biggest battery in the world? That fits in there nice.
That is nice, isn't it? Cables are a little short. Look, there's little paw prints right there. That's bigger than a mouse.
What do you think that was?
I don't know, squirrel maybe?
You have any extra wire?
I do, but it's not. I don't know if it's thick enough wire, like cable.
Yeah.
If I got smaller wire like this, we could extend these. Wouldn't be pretty. But if I undid that bolt there, that might help to extend this up and over. This one will fit, we just got to drill it. And this one might fit if we get it loosened up there. It might give us enough to come around. Okay, so my battery's too big, my cables are too short. So I'm gonna loosen a bracket down there that's holding the cable and hopefully get enough that I can get up maybe to reach the battery. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'll get there. Yay, it came off. Yeah, something's been crawling all over this thing, some little critter. Imagine a squirrel, wouldn't you?
I don't know much about rodents and the things that they do.
Why not?
They freak me out.
You don't know much about rodents and the things that they do. I have both. Okay, that'll fit. Close. We're getting closer here. That'll fit but barely. And that'll fit but barely. That'll do.
That's all you need.
I just got to drill those out a little bit. The batteries that I have a 3/8 post, and these are 5/16 holes on these cables. So I'm just gonna drill these out so this will work. This never goes good, by the way. We'll try. Yeah, see, that's how it usually goes. Yeehaw! Unsuccessful, but I did twist it up good. Yeah, that didn't take much. Beautiful. This is a stretch, but it did it. I mean, it's not sketchy at all. The battery's just kind of floating there. I need to figure out a way to fasten that better, just so we don't know. So yeah, I just threw that cable on there, didn't even think about it, but didn't spark, didn't arc, didn't do anything weird, so that's a good sign. I just got to figure out how to secure this battery better, because it is way too big and I don't want it going down in the engine compartment. That would be bad, so let's get that figured out. How am I gonna do that, Erica?
You got like a bungee cord or something?
Bungee cord, no. Yeah, kinda.
No, yeah. How do you kinda have one? Either you do or you don't.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, we got this handy dandy strap, so we're gonna wrap about 2/3 of this battery to the battery tray. That should be good enough for now. It is plenty long. It's gonna get caught in the fan. Alright, I don't know if I want to drive around the country like that, but that'll do in a pinch. Okay, I'm going to turn on the key and y'all tell me if this thing starts smoking or not.
Okay.
Did I hook it up right?
Where's your fire extinguishers at?
That's a good idea, Keith. Put them on the tailgate.
Yep.
Hope 3's enough.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the key on and see if we got any life at all. I'm not gonna try to start it yet though.
Did you turn it?
Yep.
Did anything happen? Oh. Something happened.
Can't tell if the gauges moved, but they're cold. So we got lights.
Nope.
No lights?
No lights. Oh, wait. Yep,
Oh,
there they
yep.
are.
Signal?
No.
Nope.
How about right?
Nope.
It's blinking in here.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Maybe the back.
Probably the bulbs are probably either corroded.
Oh, now it's going.
Is it going?
Yep.
Taking a minute to warm up.
Got anything back there?
Yep, back's blinking.
How about left?
Yep.
Haha.
Wow.
We got life. Okay. We got life.
Okay, your lights are still on. You want that?
Oh, no, not them off. How's that look?
Off.
Okay. So we got some electrical life. The lights work, the turn signals worked, the heater blower works. Nothing's smoking yet, so that's a good sign. So the next step, we're gonna unhook the fuel from the fuel pump. Then we're gonna spin this over, see if we got spark. The reason I'm unhooking the fuel, because I don't want any of that 30-year-old fuel trying to get up into that carburetor. I don't know if the fuel pump works. So for now, we're just gonna bypass it and see if we can pump a little fuel out of there. Just see what happens. Okay, so luckily this truck has a inline filter. So this comes up from the fuel pump. It's a mechanical fuel pump, comes up, splits off here so you can put a filter in there, and then it goes right into the carburetor. So we're just gonna get rid of this fuel filter right now. We're gonna run a hose outside of the truck. So when we're cranking this over, if there is any fuel going on, it's gonna be going on outside of the truck so it doesn't cause a fire. Oh, you hear that fuel filter cracking? It didn't survive. The fuel filter didn't make it. Ah! Anybody want to get a hit of that? I'll clear your sinuses. Ain't happy about it, but it's doing something. Okay. So I'm just gonna dump this right here. Okay, that's gonna be our fuel dump setup right here. Somebody's gonna have to hold that, even if it does pump at all. Okay, we gotta check the carburetor, see if we got, oh, it's seized. Oh, there it went. I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but something went. Okay, let's just spin it over, see if it spins over. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
That sounds pretty good.
So it doesn't seem too happy, but consider it's been sitting forever. Okay, let's check for spark, just for fun. Come on off of there without breaking, please. Oh yeah, we did it. We did it. We got it. Success. I'm gonna pull that spark plug out just to see what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna pull the spark plug out just so we can have a closer look, see if this thing's sparking. It does not look bad. Looks like a little maybe rust or something going on right there. It looks good. Let's see if it'll make spark.
Okay, when you're ready.
Yep. Sparking.
Yep. You say yep?
Yep. Got two
Alright.
sparks.
Okay, we got spark, so we can move on to the next thing, which is fuel.
Didn't we already move on to that?
Nope, we just disconnected the fuel, so we didn't have, now we need to make it so it has fuel. I'm gonna mix up a little bit of gas here with 2-stroke oil. My thought process here is it will lubricate the valve guides, when this first starts up. So if I got a sticky valve or something like that, hopefully this will help a little bit. Certainly can't hurt having a little extra lubrication when it first starts. So that's what we're gonna do. Watch me go.
Is that Mom's?
Maybe. All right, we got this fuel mixed up. Got my little makeshift fuel pump set up. So I'm gonna try to pump a little bit of fuel into this carburetor, and we're gonna see how bad it's gonna flood. All right, now we probably ought to undo that air filter. Got a little bit of hay, some mouse turds. That's my favorite.
Hay and mouse turds?
Hay and mouse turds.
Nothing better.
Alright, evidently the whole stud's gonna come out with it. Alright, I'm gonna have to climb up there. So there's some custom trimming on the air filter top, and the purpose of that was he put a little bit taller air filter in it to get a little bit more air, and then it was hitting the firewall. So a little bit of custom cutting right there, made it all fit. Kind of cool. All right. Hello, carburetor. If you'll make it happen there. All right, nothing's going on there. Okay, Keith, can you come hook the blue wire to the positive?
Yep. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, hang on. Let's get rid of this. Can you... I can't tell if it's pushing fuel up in there. I mean, it's definitely wet. It's definitely got fuel in there. All right. I'm ready to try it. See if we get any fire. All right, it looks like it's pushing a little bit of fuel up through the Venturis, but not a lot of fuel. I don't think it's really flooding. I think the float bowl's full, so we're gonna go ahead and try to crank on this, see if we can get a little bit of fire, see if we can get it to pop or do something. Before I do that though, I'm gonna remove my makeshift fuel system so all my fuel's out of the way, so I don't cause a great big fire right here, and then we'll give it a go. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, coming alive. Give it a little shot, Keith. Did you give it a little bit?
Yep.
Okay, here we go again. A little more. Oh, you ready?
Yep.
Whoa. Woo!
Did you start?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, it wants to start, and it's build oil pressure.
You gonna try again?
Yeah, we're gonna give it some choke. I don't know if it's flooded or if it just needs to choke. Oh, it wants it. I don't think we're quite fueling enough. Let's put a little bit more fuel in it. It is super close to starting. It wants it. but I think we might just be lacking a little bit of fuel. So we're gonna throw a little bit more fuel in this carburetor and see if we can get her to run. And it did build oil pressure, so everything's looking good. It sounds good. We're on our way. So on these Quadrajets, there is a fuel filter right here, and that fuel filter might be causing us some issues. It may not, it may be plugged. So dig into this a little further, see if we can get it running. We may have to pull that filter out and go from there. You want to run this, and I'll jump back up there and see if I'm overdoing it. Yeah, I don't know if that filter's letting it in or what. All right. Is anything happening on the other fuel pump side? Is it pumping fuel out or anything?
Nope, nothing.
Let's see if I can give it just a little bit of shot. Carb. Oh yeah. The knee on the seat's working. That's probably going to be too much. Okay. That's good. That's perfect. When I pulled the fuel hose off of the carburetor, it had a lot of pressure behind it. So either one of two things happening. Either the needle and seat is actually working, or that fuel filter in the carburetor is plugged and it's just causing a lot of back pressure. Not sure which one yet, but we're going to try to start it again right now, see what happens, see if she'll run for a few seconds.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you ready, Keith?
Yep, hit it.
Sounds good. Okay, the manual fuel pump isn't doing nothing. We've got it bypassed. It's going over the side of the truck and it is not pumping any fuel. So one of two things is happening. It's either plugged up in the tank and the line, or the pump just simply isn't working because it's a diaphragm pump and it probably just went bad. Not a big deal. That's what we expected. I'm still not sure what's going on with this carburetor. So I'm gonna pump this fuel filter off. I might bypass it and just put a different fuel filter in it for now. And hopefully we can get it to run longer than just a few seconds. So let's see what we got. Just curious, what year is your favorite Chevrolet / GMC truck? Mine is probably this one, 67 through 72. Square bodies are also cool, 73 through 87. And then the OBS is kind of like those too. Tell me what's your favorite. It appears that somebody's already done the filter delete. I guess that's why it had an inline filter in here. Nothing wrong with that. Just double check here. Yep, no filter. So it must just be either that needle and seat's not quite letting enough fuel in there, but it kind of think it's working like it should. So we're going to try this again. Okay, so we're gonna put a little bit more fuel in here. See if we can get it run longer than just a few seconds. My fuel hose is kind of collapsing in there. Like when that needle and seat stops or stops the fuel from going in, you should hear that pump struggle a little bit. How brave are we feeling? Do we dare start this with this makeshift fuel system hooked up? What do you think? Because you're going to be the man in danger here.
I'll stand here.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
You should be fine. Just worried about the hose getting stuck in the fan.
Yep.
And if it backfires again, and yeah, if something bad happens, get the fire extinguisher. Let's see if we can make this thing run. One more time. You ready?
Yep.
So the reason it died is I was trying to see if it would idle, and it won't. It's just idling really low. I don't think it's quite hitting on all cylinders yet, but I think it's probably 7 out of 8. We might have one that's not quite picked up yet. Could be several different reasons. Could be a spark issue, could be a little bit of a sticky valve, but it sounds really good. Like, I would expect this motor to have clattered a whole bunch more when we first started it up, but it built oil pressure really quick, and it actually has really high oil pressure. I mean, not overly high, but it has really good oil pressure. The charge gauge is coming up, so it appears that the alternator's working. Yeah, this thing's pretty sweet, and besides that, it sounds really good. All right, I'm gonna bump this idle up a little bit on this carburetor, see if I can get it to idle on its own, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'm gonna go a full half a turn, which might be a lot. I don't know, let's see. You ready, Mr. Fuel?
Yep.
Don't die, don't die! Why did we die?
You ruined it.
I don't know what's happening now. Let's try one more time.
Did you kill it that time?
No, it kind of killed itself. Try it again. Okay, what I think's going on here is that carburetor just had some bad fuel in it, and it's probably now sucked it through the jets and the venturis, and it's just kind of plugging up. It's not really doing what it wants, so we may have to dig into this carburetor and give it a little freshen up. All right, we're gonna pull this carburetor off, and at least pull the top of it off, see how she looks, and go from there. Let's get this off. What else we got hooked up to this thing?
Is that normal to be smoke coming out of that?
Yeah. I got this carburetor off. I'm gonna pull the top off, see what we got going on inside of it. There's a good chance I'm gonna mess up this gasket on this, so hopefully not, but always run that risk when you're pulling these apart. Hopefully I can just pull the top off, clean it out real good, and put it together and have it seal. That would be ideal. It's been a long time since I've had a quadra jet apart. worked. Okay. Won't come off unless you get all the screws off. At least that's what they're telling me. Oh, did I forget some linkage? What's going on here? Yep. Sure did. Come on off of there. There it is. Still doesn't want to let go. What else we got holding this thing on? Okay, there's the top off. There's some varnish fuel in all these. Oh yeah, they're plugged. Okay, there's the accelerator pumps. You can see it's got some nastiness going on there. Just some old nasty fuel. I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera. Looks like the gasket might have lived. If I can pop it the rest of the way off very carefully. Boom, there it is. Come on up out of there. Oh yeah. You let go there. Okay, the gasket lived, at least for now. Okay, there's a whole bunch of nastiness going down in the float bowl. Looks like the jets are plugged a little bit. The venturis are probably plugged, so I'm going to pull that float out of there and the needle and seat, and I'm going to see if I can clean this up a little bit, make it run a little bit better. It's not going to be perfect, but oh yeah, now you can see it. Look at that. That's some old fuel there. Oh yeah, that's... Wow, that was still kind of working. That's why it's running. So those are the main jets that I just blew through right there. And what happens, it sucks the fuel up through here, up through these venturis, and that's where it gets its mixture, air fuel, and then drops it down in the engine. The jets control the amount of fuel. Half 3, half 4, half, yeah. We got this carburetor haphazardly and hastily rebuilt, so we're going to throw it on and give it a try, see what she does. We got this carburetor back on. We're going to throw some fuel in it, try to start it again, see how she does. That choke work?
Yep.
Okay, let's give her a go. Clear?
Yep.
Let's give her a little starting fluid, see if we can.
What's the problem?
All right, hold off on the fuel for a second. Let's put a little bit of starting fluid in there. I don't know if we're losing spark or what the deal is. Okay. Too slow.
Are you adjusting the choke?
No, carburetor, the idle.
Idle, yeah.
Idle.
That's what I meant. It's good. Dad, you're too slow.
There it is, it's just too lean. I don't think we're quite running on the idle circuit yet. It's running lean. There it is. Ballpark anyway. It says it's up temperature, but I don't think it's circulating so much right now. minor. It's not perfect, but it does run. Yay! We got the carburetor, pretty happy with it. It turned out good considering the circumstances. It is running a little lean at idle, but we're going to warm it up a little bit more before we adjust the idle circuits and just kind of keep messing with it a little bit, see if we can get it run a little bit better. I need to figure out my fuel system. The mechanical pump's not even running at all, like it's not pumping any fuel at all. It's probably plugged up or just quit running. So I don't need to worry about that so much, but I do need to figure out a way to make my little tiny fuel system run outside underneath the engine compartment, so if something goes bad it won't cause a fire underneath the engine compartment. I think my battery makeup shift here, that'll suffice for now. So if I can get the fuel system figured out, we'll be good. Alright, so I got about 5 feet of hose right here, and my best bet is to go out on the front of this truck. It'll keep it from being in an engine compartment where it can be combustible. So we're just going to run this out through the grill. I'm going to do some kind of bungee cord to hold this on, and then we have to figure out the electrical part of it, but it's going to be really haphazard and sketchy, but it's just going to be a short little drive. We want to do a little test drive before we call it quits tonight, and yeah, see how she goes. Alright, do not try this at home. This is so sketchy. I've only got about half a gallon of fuel here, so it's not going to be a huge fire, but big enough to burn the truck down. But it's on the outside, so it should be fine. Probably not, but we're going to try it anyway.
And we have 3 fire extinguishers.
We got 3 fire extinguishers. We're not going very far. We're just going to do a quick little test drive, and I'll have somebody watching this the whole time. So let's give it a go. Let's see if this thing will move. All right, first time moving in a long time. See if I got a clutch. Uh-oh. Oh, it's got one. It's just clear out there. Yeah. Alright, it's got a really long clutch, so it either needs to be adjusted or it just needs a new clutch, one of the two. Oh, seems sweet. My fuel tank fell off yet?
I don't see it on the ground.
It's spilling?
I think you're good.
Non-existent, but
better than nothing.
My fuel tank's still hanging in there.
Yep.
It's not on fire.
You're good. I don't think it's even spilled.
locking up?
What?
Is there brakes locking up?
Yep.
Just the
They're
backs?
braking.
How was that?
All right, first successful test drive. It kind of has brakes, but I think only the backs are working. We obviously need to step up our game on our fuel system. I better shut that pump off. Don't give any gas, just let the clutch out. It's way, way, way up on top. Power steering even works, so.
Yeah. I like it. The brakes are there, just barely.
Oh, buckshot letters.
I like it, I want one.
Me too.
This is such a cool little truck. Very fun. Let's see if we can get stuck in the snow.
There she goes. Give her a little gas. Probably worse and worse.
High clutch is high.
You're gonna be up to your
My
chin.
knees right here.
Keith is so tall in that truck. Give her some gas!
That's pretty sweet. Killed it.
Way back in the day when I was dating my wife, she actually took me to the prom in this truck. So the high school that I went to, it had 2 prom nights. The first night was boys' choice, the second night was girls' choice. So she asked me out, and she asked her older brother if she could take this truck on a date. So we double dated in this truck, and it's one of the best memories I have of this truck. And I do remember it because it was so it was just such a sweet truck. It sounded good, it drove good. It was just a great truck. At the time, I had a 72 Chev 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive. So on my truck's best day, it wasn't nearly as cool as this truck, but just such a cool truck. So my brother-in-law bought this truck from a guy in town. I think he bought it probably around 85, 86 before he graduated from high school. And when he bought it, it was kind of a brown, rust colored almost. You can see it still brown underneath the hood, the original color. When he got it, he painted it red. I'm pretty sure he did cab corners and rockers in it like you do on all these trucks. But when he had it finished up, painted nice, that sure was a sweet truck. And he drove it clear till 95. Mostly his daily. He's had a few other trucks in between here and there, but this was basically his daily driver. Until he got a little bit newer truck, and then I guess he just parked it. Because obviously there's nothing really wrong with the truck, other than it's sat forever and kind of messed up the fuel system. Other than that, it's primo. It drives good, the power steering works good, the brakes are a little sketchy. The motor runs good, needs a little bit more fine tuning, but nothing crazy. And basically a good fuel system in this thing, and it'd be a good driver again. So if this was my truck, basically I would do two things to it. First of all, I would remove the tank from behind the seat and I would put it in the back of the truck like a blazer tank. They make kits for those. They're pretty sweet, pretty easy to do. And it needs to be replaced anyway, probably. So it's just kind of a no-brainer to do that. And the second thing I would do is like a vintage air. So you'd have modern air conditioning and heat and just make it comfortable to drive. So you could just basically hop in this truck and kind of go wherever you wanted to go and just kind of replace things as it needed, and a little bit here, a little bit there, and just make it a good running truck again. In our other Will It Start video where we did the Chevrolet G506, you might have noticed this truck in the background. So the G506 belonged to my father-in-law, and this truck belongs to my brother-in-law. And in case you were wondering, no, he's not interested in selling it, and I don't blame him. After 30 years of sitting in the barn, we got this truck running and driving. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.